We are locked in with the man from Locked On Cardinals, Alex Clancy, joining us now. Alex, here we are. Playoffs are in sight. Do you dare use the word playoffs? Is it fair to say at this point?
They've given us no reason to think otherwise, which is kind of bananas a year, sooner than we expected it. But yeah, I mean, you kind of go with the flow. I don't think you need to use the P word yet. We're only, things are just starting to ramp up.
7 games left in the season. Alex, I mean, what's the excitement level like you think for this team?
I mean, I'm more excited about the defense. Like the crazy part about it is Monty Ossenfort has hit multiple home runs in his first two drafts. At least that's what the future pacing looks like. I mean, all the defensive players, we'll see if D-Rob plays this weekend, but Garrett Williams, home run. Max Mountain looks to be a guy who will follow in his shoes. Daedrin Taylor Demerson looks like a dude who is going to supplant Jalen Thompson. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. They all like to hit people. The exotic blitz packages from Nick Rallis are chef's kiss at this point. Like, I mean, the boys are ready to play and they're all playing for each other. It's a wild thing to see 18 months removed from what dysfunction we saw.
Yeah, and that was the biggest thing, Alex. They had to build through the draft. We've talked about it a lot. Like you had that if you're going to pay Kyler all this money and have some big contracts and sign some free agents down the road, you have to develop some of that younger talent to get there. What you're starting to see is some of that pay off. Like at some point in a rebuild, your young talent has to rise up, and that's the best part I think about what we're seeing now with the Cardinals is it's doing that in drove.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it's fun and it's organic and it's natural. And it's the coaches, like the beauty of the young players is they got to listen to the coaches. So Nick Rallis and Jonathan Gannon are building this thing, especially on the defensive side of the ball. It's like they're molding into exactly what they want. Because a lot of questions were arose when they traded back in the second round and they drafted Max Melton and Julian McKinstry and Cooper DeJean and Kamari Lassiter. All the other buzzword name guys went before him. And it's like, well, I hope they know what they're doing. They wanted dudes who wanted to hit people, the anti Patrick Peterson corners, and they've got CB1 and CB2 who seek out punishment. And so does Daedrin Taylor Demerson. And it's fun. It's fun. I'm juiced up for it for the rest of the year and the future.
I like Patrick Peterson. He was shut. He didn't have to hit nobody because nobody threw his way.
Yeah.
Take
One of
that.
the biggest fallacies in the history of football is not throwing at CB1s. Like, what are we doing here? You're really gonna let Dion take off half the field? No, throw at him and make him earn his paycheck.
I like the way you think, Alex. I like it. All right, let's get to the matchup this week. At the Seahawks, they're going to play them twice in the next 3 weeks. It's a really good measuring stick, I think, of where this team is at truly in this division, although they've had great success so far. In my eyes, when I look at the back half of the schedule, they are the most physical team. The Cardinals, they're more physical than any team left on the rest of their schedule. But the Seahawks playing them is always going to be tough. What do you make of Sunday?
That it's going to be a weird game like it always is. CenturyLink turn Lumen Field. Every single game is weird and it's ugly and it's gross. And it's really going to be it's really going to be who can turn over the opposition and who can get at the quarterback. I mean, if they can get at Geno Smith and fluster him, you know that he has a proclivity to throw some picks. And the offensive line for a third week in a row for the Cardinals is one that can be had, with the opposition. The Bears had a bad offensive line, Swiss cheese. The Jets didn't have a good offensive line. And the Seahawks, although improved from the beginning of the season, can be had, with their issues at the offensive line. So listen, I have no idea what's going to happen. Seattle, again, is always a weird place. But I would be surprised for the first time in 2024 if the Cardinals didn't win, which is a weird feeling to have from what we've experienced of late.
You're saying they should be favorites for the rest of the
Yeah.
way
No, they should be favored on Sunday.
on
I think
Sunday?
I think they should be favored. I think they're a 1.5 point dog at this point. I think they should be favored.
Yeah, I agree with that. Any concern with bringing Jonah Williams back in the starting lineup if he plays, and he will replace Kelvin Beachum, who I think has played phenomenally. But also you pay Jonah Williams all this money in the offseason to start at right tackle. Any concern there?
No, it's a fantastic problem to have. Kelvin Beacham's been great. We were
These
actually
champagne problems? We got
sorry,
champagne. We got champagne
Yeah,
problems.
Beach and I were actually interacting on Twitter. I didn't realize his nickname in high school was the Big Fundamental, and what you're seeing is the dude is just a consummate pro, one of the best signings from Steve Keim ever. And not only, financially, but also for the impact on the team. He could play as a Swiss Army knife for the O line. I don't care if JG's going to roll him in there. That's fine. But if Jonah Williams lets a sack up or two sacks up in the next couple weeks, it's like put the best player out there. And Kelvin Beachum deserves to get his reps on game day. Doesn't matter if Jonah Williams is healthy or not.
The thing you're most excited about for Sunday is what? What are you most looking forward to seeing?
If they can really expose the rush defense for Seattle, which is their massive weakness, I want to see it. I want Kyler Murray to be bored. I want him to have to throw the ball 15 times and the Cardinals still put up 28 or 30 points. Like, I want to see James Conner, but most importantly for me down the stretch, I want to see Trey Benson get more reps in the first half. I want to see him spell James Conner because it looks like he can be 70% of what James Conner is already. The game slowed down for him over the last couple weeks, and getting him involved in the first half is something. I have this theory, Cam, that when you have guys who make the NFL, they've never sat to start a game in the entirety of their career. Not always is there a Lou Williams or Jamal Crawford basketball where you just come off the bench and drop 20 after sitting for half an hour. You
Got to
got to
learn to
get
be that sixth
involved.
man, right? Learn
Yeah,
to be
you're
that
right.
sixth man.
There's people have the ability to be that sixth man and just have the juice. That's a superpower. Most athletes don't have that. Getting Trey Benson involved, get the juices flowing early on, I think will be a massive benefit for this team, especially if he can produce and spell James Conner.
My biggest, and listen, in my eyes, they've earned the right to be where they are. They've played well, they've dominated, they are physical, all the above. And so to be 6-4 is a credit to them. And I hate to phrase it this way because they've earned it, but I want to see more of it. Like, is this a team that is really going to shake some things up when it comes playoff time? Is this a team that is going to be at the top of their division at the end of the year? Is this a team that is, was playing so well under their bye? We're going to take a week off and they're going to come back and just put their foot back on people's throats once again after the bye week. Like, they've shown us a lot. And they've shown us they can be this team with this great identity, know exactly who they are, can run the football, play defense, great coaching, not make penalties. Like, they've shown us all that. But we're going to see that now the back half of the year when it truly matters with kind of, and this is realistically, they control their own destiny. So if they want to keep winning, they're in the playoffs. Will we see the same team we saw in the first half? That's my biggest thing. I want to see that team kind of finish what they've already started.
Absolutely. I mean, the tempered expectation portion of this, Cam, is nobody, and if you did, you're a liar face. Nobody saw them 6-4 with the teams that they played. So with the schedule technically being lighter talent-wise down the stretch, do not think for a second that things can't turn in a negative direction. Like, they're not on this golden path to being the 2 seed, and they're just going to be given that. Like, they have tough opponents, tough NFL teams, and they're going to have to continue to evolve and grow. JG said it in his press conference this week. Like, the good teams ascend, and they continue to get better throughout the year. And the Cardinals have the ability to be able to do that. And I'm incredulous at times that we're here. Like, things are working out so well. It's almost like the Slumdog Millionaire movie where it's like everything is working out. They're doing the right things. They're preparing. They're dealing with injuries, but they're overcoming them. Kyler Murray's coming to his own. Everything's working, and it's continuing to work. So nothing would make you think that at least they won't be prepared like they were in week 1 of last year when they lost a whole bunch of games and it was ugly. They were always prepared.
The only thing that makes me a little nervous is we're just waiting for that typical Arizona sports moment to happen. And I hope it doesn't. Like, at some point, the narrative's got to change. ASU's doing it. We'd like to see the Suns kind of do it at some points when they get healthy. The Cardinals have a chance to do it. Like, there's a chance to really drum up some excitement with this football team if they can kind of keep this going. But I think in the back of everybody's mind is just, oh, come on. We've seen this story before. But what we haven't seen is a team in a while earn it like they have. And I think that's the most encouraging part in kind of this season is they're doing it a little differently than most teams in the past.
Yeah, I mean, I've said, since Dan Campbell took over in Detroit, model it after the Detroit Lions because they know what it's like to be a perennially losing organization and completely flipping the script. Maybe on not the most conventional head coach hire, maybe not in the, most conventional way to build a roster. Detroit Lions are the cream of the crop of the NFC 3 years removed from. I mean, I think that the turning point for both organizations was when in 2021 when the Cardinals went to Detroit, they were 10-3 and they got absolutely embarrassed 30-12 against the Detroit Lions team that didn't win many games that year. That was it. That exposed Cliff. That exposed the positive things that were going on in Detroit, and things have gone completely differently for both organizations since. So that's the roadmap. That's the roadmap out of dysfunctionality and into cohesion and a culture shift that we're experiencing right now with the Cardinals. It's fun as hell to watch, man. It's just fun football to watch.
Hold on. Trying to do two things at once here. Talking about kneecaps. That's the key. You got to take people's kneecaps off, right?
Yeah, the really rational way to do things during introductory press conference. But you look at that with Dan Campbell, and you look at the bus stuff with Jonathan Gannon and him doing weird sounds and stuff with his hands. It's like head coaches can be human beings. It's not against the rules. So you can make fun of all you want, but what they do on game day for both of these organizations now is pretty impressive, especially with all the dysfunction across the NFL.
All right, before I get your predictions, let's get some news here out of the way. Jalen Thompson just ruled out by the Cardinals. Darius Robinson listed as questionable. Xavier Thomas, the rookie linebacker, listed as questionable. Jonah Williams listed as questionable. Both D-Rob and Williams practiced all week. There we go. So we'll see what happens. Prediction, do they win?
Yeah. I think this is going to be a boring win for Kyler. I think James Conner, Trey Benson, you're really going to start to see the 0-1 jump for Trey Benson. I like if they're humming on the ground like they very well could be against this rush defense, you could see 10, 12 carries for Trey Benson. It doesn't matter. Like at this point, ride the rookie between the 20s and let James Conner eat it, in around pay dirt. The Cardinals could, this is going to be a drag them out game, but I think the Cardinals win by a score. And this is where they solidify themselves as like, yep, look, NFL, you're not waiting until 2025. The Cardinals are here and they're legit this season for a real playoff push.
Make the playoffs on a budget. Next year, you get so much cash to spend. Do they make the playoffs? Do you want to answer that, by the way?
Yeah, I think they do. The only team that worries me in the NFC West is the Rams. It's not Seattle. Brock Purdy's hurt. The entirety of that, the Roman Empire is falling in Northern California. So it's the Cardinals and the Rams. And a win against Seattle is going to be massive to keep that 2-game lead or the full game lead, I guess, on the NFC West. But yeah, I think they do. I think they do.
Okay. Alex, thanks for the time, buddy. Good to see you.
You got to do.